So, you want to get into drama school and you're figuring out how to prepare for that application process. Well, you're in luck because in this video, we're going to talk about how to stand out in that process. This is a method that will help you be a memorable candidate throughout the whole application. From the first interview and audition, these steps will help you come in ready and presentable for that application. If you don't know who I am, hello, my name is Tara Hamora Open. I am a freelance director and actor based in the UK who just recently graduated from the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts with a master's degree in directing. I've been acting since I was 15 and directing since I was 18, and now I've made this YouTube channel to help people get started in their acting and directing careers and talk more about working in the industry as I myself grow and learn from it. If you want to stand out in that drama school application, the two key things you have to do are, first, hone in to what makes you unique, and second, tell the story of that uniqueness in your entire application and audition process. So, step number one, hone in to what makes you unique. Drama schools hold auditions because they are interested in getting to know you. They are interested in you showing them who you are and what you can do. They are not necessarily looking for the best or most skilled performers or directors or designers or whatever drama practitioner. They are a school. They expect people to be coming in to be open to learning. They are looking for people who want to develop their craft and grow as artists that can benefit from the training they will provide. So the goal is to present yourself as someone who is capable of making the most of that training and would merit from the kind of training they offer. The way to show a drama school that is to present them your unique artist identity through every step of the application. In other words, you are letting them know what you can bring to the table and what kind of artist you want to grow to be through their institution. Okay, but how do I hone into that artist identity and how do I tell that story, your story, of uniqueness in those drama school applications? Well, you come up with an artist statement. An artist statement is a statement of who you are and what you do as an artist. It's your spine, your why, your crux, your North Star. It is the thing you will keep going back to identify yourself as an artist. I have a whole other video right here explaining how to make your artist statement or identifying your why as an artist. And I go through a whole exercise where you can figure it out by the end of the video. But as a brief overview, your artist statement should answer three questions. First, what aspects of my identity make me unique? Second, what stories am I passionate to tell? And third, why do I want to tell these stories? Or stories in general. And it should be something like, hi, my name is Tara. I am a Filipino actor and director. I am passionate about telling stories about women and the neglected communities in society because I believe in the power of storytelling to disrupt people's biases and make them think differently than what they're used to. You have a statement like that and suddenly you have something to come into the room with. Suddenly you have answers to the questions that every drama school interview is going to ask you. Who are you? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Why do you want to study at our school? What kind of work do you usually gravitate towards? Why do you act? Why do you direct? Why do you design? And even if they don't ask these questions, which is highly unlikely that they won't, now you know in yourself why you're doing this, and you can now come in the room with a newfound conviction. Okay, but Tara, what do we do with that information now? And how do we use this to stand out in an audition, in an application? Well, I'm glad you asked, my friend, because that brings me to step 2, which is telling the story of that uniqueness. Now that you have your artist statement, you need to show the panel this artist's identity through every audition, through every interview, through every CV or resume, portfolio, statement, or whatever requirement the drama school has. So let's go through how to use that in the 3 usual requirements a drama school might ask for, which is the audition, the interview, and the personal statement. First, the audition. The main thing an artist statement will help you with in an audition is it gives you direction for what kind of material you ought to pick. The best material for an audition is a piece that showcases you and what you can do. Usually that means a material you have a strong feel for, and that's where your artist statement comes in. Let's say you're an actor with a passion for telling women's stories. Now that you've honed in on this, you may want to pick an active monologue, whether classical or contemporary, that portrays a strong female character. And I know what you're thinking. Tara, won't that pigeonhole me? No. The artist statement is supposed to give you a direction of what you can do, but not be a limit for the only thing you can do. The statement just helps you narrow down what it is you might do for this drama school audition that can showcase you best. Second, the interview. For those whose degree programs require an interview, your artist statement helps you in that it lays the groundwork for the way you may answer questions in the room. Panels will more often than not ask you questions like, tell us a little bit about yourself. Why do you want to study directing, acting, designing? All of these questions can be answered by looking at various points in your artist statement. First common question, tell us a little bit about yourself. Well, I'd take the part of my artist statement that talks about the facts of who I am. I'd say, my name is Tara, and I'm a Filipino actor and director. Second most common question, why do you want to study directing, acting, designing? Well, I'd take the part of my artist statement that talks about why I'm passionate about telling stories, such as, I want to become a director because I believe in the power of storytelling to disrupt people's biases and make them think differently than what they're used to. And becoming a director particularly helps me be at the forefront of that storytelling process. The interview process then becomes easier because you have a stronger grasp of who you are as an artist or aspiring artist. Third, the personal statement. For those that need to submit a personal statement, having an artist statement works as your foundation, or your personal statement can even be an outline to what you ought to talk about. For example, if my artist statement is, hi, my name is Tara. I am a Filipino actor and director. I am passionate about telling stories about women and the neglected communities in society because I believe in the power of storytelling to disrupt people's biases and make them think differently than what they're used to. I might spend my personal statement talking about my Filipino identity and how that influences my art making, my passion for telling stories about neglected communities and how that work moves to disrupt people's biases. You get all that just from knowing who you are and working to curate that application to letting them see that unique artist's voice. Through this method, you become a more compelling candidate in the drama school application process, which will effectively make you stand out in the room. Standing out in life is all about honing in to what makes you unique and owning that identity. If you've gotten to the end of this video and you're still confused as to how to create that artist statement, click here for the full video of how to make that statement and find your why and gain that confidence you need to enter that audition room with authenticity. See you there. Bye.